Long before Cedar Ridge had gates and bylaws and matching mailboxes, the land had belonged to working families, miners, teachers, farmers, people who couldn't afford marble headstones or legal paperwork, but buried their dead with care all the same. Eleanor's grandfather used to tell her, "We may not have money, but we have memory." That patch of land, tucked behind what was now Hull, held those memories. Or it had, until last week. The HOA clubhouse buzzed with polite laughter and clinking glasses when Eleanor walked in. No one noticed her at first. Why would they? To them, she was just a quiet woman who owned several of the rental properties along the East Ridge, the one who rarely attended meetings. Tonight was different. She walked straight to the front, letter in hand. "I'd like an explanation," she said, her voice cutting clean through the room. Silence fell in layers. The HOA president, Richard Holson, adjusted his cufflinks like this was a minor inconvenience. "Ms. Price, if you're referring to the landscaping improvements. You dug up 12 graves." A murmur rippled through the crowd. There were no official records. Legally speaking, it was unused land. "Legally speaking," Eleanor said, stepping closer, "you destroyed a cemetery." Another board member chimed in. "We followed all procedures." "You followed, Prophet," she snapped. Someone in the back muttered, "It's just date." Eleanor turned toward the voice. "No," she said quietly. "It was people." The room went still again. Richard sighed. "Look, the expansion increases property values for everyone here. Sometimes difficult decisions require consequences." He gave a dismissive chuckle. "And what exactly are you going to do about it?" That was the moment he should have stayed silent. Eleanor didn't argue further. She didn't yell. She just nodded once, folded the letter, and walked out. Most people in Cedar Ridge didn't know much about her. They assumed she inherited a house or got lucky with investments. What they didn't know was that Eleanor Price owned 43 of the 80 homes in Cedar Ridge. Not directly, not in ways that were obvious. LLCs, trusts, quiet acquisitions over 15 years. She had bought struggling properties, foreclosures, homes from residents who wanted out. She had become, without fanfare, the foundation of their perfect neighborhood. And foundations, when pulled, don't make noise at first. 3 days later, envelopes appeared on doorsteps across Cedar Ridge. Families opened them in confusion that quickly turned to panic. Each notice was precise, legal, immediate, lease termination due to property reclamation. Phones rang nonstop. Emails flooded in. People gathered in driveways, clutching papers, demanding answers. By evening, a crowd formed outside Eleanor's home. She stepped onto her porch, composed as ever. "You can't do this," someone shouted. "We live here. Our kids go to school here." Eleanor let them speak, let the anger crest and break. Then she said, calmly, "You built your homes on top of mine." Confusion flickered across faces. "I own these properties," she continued, "or rather, the land beneath them. You signed leases. You just didn't read who the lessor was." Richard pushed through the crowd, red-faced. "This is retaliation." "This is balance," Eleanor replied. "You're punishing families who had nothing to do with." "You had a meeting," she interrupted. "An open one. No one objected. No one asked questions. No one cared." A woman near the front said softly, "We didn't know." Eleanor's expression shifted. Not softer, but heavier. "They didn't know either," she said. "The 12 people you erased." The offer. The chaos lasted 2 days. By the third, desperation had replaced outrage. Immediate cessation of golf course expansion, full restoration and memorialization of the destroyed graves, public acknowledgement of wrongdoing by the HOA board, permanent legal protection of the cemetery land resignation current. The board called an emergency meeting. For the first time, attendance was mandatory in spirit, if not by law. Richard stood at the front again, but the confidence was gone. "This is extortion," he said weakly. From the audience, someone replied, "So is what you did." Another voice, "Just sign it. We're going to lose our homes." The vote happened quickly after that. Unanimous. The restoration. Construction crews returned, but not to expand the course. They dug carefully this time. Archaeologists were brought in. Records were reconstructed. Names were recovered where possible. 12 graves became a memorial garden. Simple, honest, undeniable. A stone marker stood at the entrance, in memory of those who were here before us. The end of the game. Richard Holston resigned quietly. The HOA changed hands. And Cedar Ridge changed. Not overnight. Not completely. But enough. People started asking questions at meetings, reading documents, paying attention. As for Eleanor, she remained what she had always been. Present, watching, unmoved by appearances. One evening, a neighbor approached her near the memorial. "I'm sorry," the woman said, "for not speaking up." Eleanor looked at the 12 markers, lined in quiet dignity. "Next time," she said, "speak sooner." The woman nodded, and for the first time since the letter arrived, Eleanor allowed herself a small, tired breath. The land, at least, remembered again.